This is the video for Haidong Gumdo Ssangsu sword form number 7. The unique points of Ssangsu number 7 include our first practical use, and for most people, the first introduction of Pokose, a very low, deep stance that is known in English as the tiger stance. It also involves some unique footwork, such as the skip step, where you bring the back foot up, push off on the toes, and make a slight jump forward. Please make great use of the video, as even at a slowed down speed, a lot of the motions flow together in such a way that it's easier to see them than to narrate them. The draw for number 7 involves stepping out very far with the right foot and making a very deep one-handed cut. We then pull back, put the left hand on the grip, and stand in Chihase. Here we skip step, strike up with the back of the sword, then strike up with the blade of the sword. Turn 180 degrees to the stomach side, block on the head right, step back and parry to the left. Then block head left, step back and parry to the right. The sword swings down in a low parry near the legs, comes up to head right block, step in, and cut. Left foot goes out diagonally, again block head right, we'll step in and holding the sword with only our left hand, we parry to the left. Bringing the sword up to the left shoulder, we'll turn 180 degrees, bring the sword to the right shoulder. Then we'll do an overhead thrust. Turn another 180 degrees and do an extra long vertical cut, bringing the feet next to each other. Then, parrying head left, we step back into Pokose. Pushing off from Pokose, we cut upwards, block over the head, step back into Chihase, and then step back into normal stance. We'll take 2 simple steps forward. We'll step in deep with a cross step and a high head parry. Spin around towards the back and slash up, full golf swing. We'll step in, blocking head left with one hand and slash down. Step back and thrust. And one last time, we'll step back and parry to our left. Then sheath. As usual, we will have a special explanation of the sheathing technique at the end of this video. Here we'll show Ssangsu 7 from the back view. Again, draw out, step very far forward, and cut deep with the one hand. Pull back into Chihase. Skip step, strike up with the back of the sword, and then strike up with the blade. Turn 180 degrees, head guard right, step back, parry left. Head guard left, step back, parry right. Sword swings down and blocks near the legs, head guard right, step in, and cut. Step diagonally to the left, head guard right, holding the sword in just the left hand, parry to the left side. Bring the sword up to the left shoulder, turn 180 degrees, bring the sword to your right shoulder. Step in and overhead thrust. Extra long vertical cut, bringing the toes close together. Step diagonally back to the left and into Pokose, guarding on head left. Swing up, block the head, step back into Chihase, and step back again into normal stance. 2 simple steps forward. A deep head block, spin and full golf swing. Head block on the left, switch to one-handed and cut down. Step back and thrust. Step back and parry to the left. And sheath. Here we will highlight the Ssangsu number 7 sheathing technique. The sheathing technique for Ssangsu number 7 is an extension of the sheathing technique for Ssangsu number 4. As such, if you haven't mastered number 4's sheathing technique yet, you should go take care of that well before you start working on this. While in number 4, we spin the sword until the blade is pointed in the opposite from usual direction. In number 7, we'll basically be doing what amounts to a full 360. We will spin the blade twice so that it comes back out to the same side it's usually on. To do this, we have to spin it around the middle finger. For doing this, I would recommend first that you go back to the stretching video. Take a look at the finger stretches. These will be very useful for making this a lot easier for you. If your fingers are stiff, it's not going to be that easy to move the sword that much. As always, we'll be holding the sword in the right hand. Same as number 4, we will pull back to get some momentum. When we swing down, we'll go from squeezing the sword between our thumb and index finger to squeezing the sword between our index finger and our middle finger. As the blade spins down again, since this is number 7, we will get our ring and pinky finger out of the way and to the opposite side. Now we'll be squeezing the sword mostly between our middle finger and our ring finger. Momentum should carry it around the middle finger until you can grip with your thumb, pinky, and ring, and then switch your index and middle to the proper side. Once more. Swing down, squeeze between thumb and index. Switch to middle and index. Ring and pinky get out of the way until the thumb can get around and you squeeze between thumb, ring, and pinky. Then switch middle and index back to the proper side. It's very hard to show this at slow speed or to really explain it. It's mostly a matter of practicing it until you get used to it. Again, I suggest doing this with a wooden sword, because a wooden sword, when dropped, and you will drop it, will cause less damage, and because wooden sword grips are the right shape for a historically accurate sword. Foam and bamboo swords use round grips. Wooden and steel swords use oval grips. Do not practice this with a steel sword. It is far too dangerous.